Maw-shawl chapter 4. I will give you a good gift, forsake not my law. For I also was my father's son, tender as an only son in the sight of my mother. And he taught me and said, let thy heart receive my words. Keep my commandments, and thou shalt live. Get wisdom, get prudence. Forget not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. What I want to do is look up the word prudence, right? Because it's always being mentioned in this translation. Because I noticed in the other translations when I was doing like the comparison, right? All the other ones say the same thing. Instead of prudence, it's understanding. Some of the newer ones say gain insight. And so I'm like, all right. Everyone keeps saying the Bible is a guidebook to the laws, especially like the laws of this country and of England or Britain. So I'm like, I wonder if there's a way you could look up these words in legalese and see what they say. So I want to show you what I found when I started doing that with prudence. So you hear the laws of prudence, and this is from Cornell. Let's see.
Cornell's standard of judgment, management, and conduct under the circumstances. Based on what was known or should have been known at the time a decision was made or the action was completed. Prudence involves a duty of care to others. The duty of care is increased in circumstances when there is a considerable danger of harm to public safety or economic risk to ratepayers. For example, in determining whether a defendant's conduct was reasonable, the defendant's conduct is compared to the conduct of a reasonable person in similar circumstances. The prudent person rule is a hypothetical person used as a legal standard, especially to determine whether someone acted with negligence. It is a rule that allows a fiduciary, particularly a trustee, to manage another's business and invest another's money with the same skill and care that a person of average prudence and intelligence would use in managing their own affairs or investments.
It was one of the one I seen that I thought was interesting. This is a law of prudence. No, I just did that one. There's 3 things to take counsel, judgment, sound. No, that wasn't it. I don't think. No, because black laws it didn't have anything for black law. Yeah, they just gave us that one. That wasn't it. I don't think I'll find it again.
The word jurisprudence derives from the Latin term jurisprudentia, which means the study, knowledge, or science of law. In the United States, jurisprudence commonly means the philosophy of law. Legal philosophy has many aspects, but 4 of them.
Hold on. See if I finish it off. So look at that. Look at that. Oh, no, went too far. I hate when it does that. Went too far.
Legal philosophy has many aspects, but four of them are the most common. The first and the most prevalent form of jurisprudence seeks to analyze, explain, classify, and criticize entire bodies of law. Law school textbooks and legal encyclopedias represent this type of scholarship. The second type of jurisprudence compares and contrasts law with other fields of knowledge such as literature, economics, religion, and the social sciences. The third type of jurisprudence seeks to reveal the historical, moral, and cultural basis of a particular legal concept. The fourth body of jurisprudence focuses on finding the answer to such abstract questions as, what is law? And, how do judges, properly, decide cases?
Well, I know it's improper based on their feelings.
Apart from different types of jurisprudence, different schools of jurisprudence exist. Formalism, or conceptualism, treats law like math or science. Formalists believe that a judge identifies the relevant legal principles, applies them to the facts of a case, and logically deduces a rule that will govern the outcome of the dispute. In contrast, proponents of legal realism believe that most cases before courts present hard questions that judges must resolve by balancing the interests of the parties and ultimately drawing an arbitrary line on one side of the dispute. This line, realists maintain, is drawn according to the political, economic, and psychological inclinations of the judge. Many legal realists believe that a judge is able to shape the outcome of the case based on personal biases. Apart from the realist-formalist dichotomy, there is the classic debate over the appropriate sources of law between positivist and natural law schools of thought. Positivists argue that there is no connection between law and morality and the only sources of law are rules that have been expressly enacted by a governmental entity or court of law. Naturalists, or proponents of natural law, insist that the rules enacted by the government are not the only sources of law. They argue that moral philosophy, religion, human reason and individual conscience are also integrated parts of the law. Some have attempted to break down schools of positivism and naturalism, aka anti-positivism, into three distinct groups. Exclusive legal positivists. According to exclusive legal positivists, what makes up the law is exclusively determined by social facts. Anti-positivists. According to anti-positivists, moral facts determine the legal relevance of actions which people, institutions take. According to inclusive legal positivists, moral facts might play a part in determining the content of the law, but only if the relevant social practices assign them that role. Inclusive legal positivism is a form of positivism because it holds that social facts are the ultimate determinants of the content of the law, and that the law might be determined by social facts alone. It allows that people might choose to have the content of their law depend on moral facts, as they seem to do, for example, when they prohibit punishment that is cruel, or confer rights to legal protections that are equal. The schools of legal thought mentioned above are only part of a diverse jurisprudential picture of the United States. Other prominent schools of legal thought exist. These include but are not limited to critical legal theory, feminist jurisprudence, law and economics, utilitarianism, legal pragmatism.
So yeah, I thought that was interesting, that prudence, you can look that up and find the legal terms for it having to do with, the responsibilities of one acting on another's behalf in a trust, which makes a lot of other stuff come to mind when you think about that, and how things are held in trust. But also jurisprudence there, and how that goes into a mindset, and playing on the morality of one who's making the decisions there, So there's something to it, and I just thought that was interesting how all the other translations say understanding, 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 or gain insight, and this one, the Catholic one, is saying gain wisdom and prudence. So it's just a choice of words there. All right. Forsake her not, her being wisdom, as we've established, wisdom, and it was established in the Wisdom of Solomon, one of the books that's not in the Bible, that wisdom is a female, and wisdom was there in the beginning when the world was being founded, according to Solomon, or the authors of the Wisdom of Solomon. So, and it's always telling you chase wisdom. Well, in this translation, it's always telling you chase wisdom and chase prudence. And she shall keep thee, love her, and she shall preserve thee. The beginning of wisdom, the beginning of wisdom, get wisdom with all thy possessions purchase prudence. So it's making it very clear these two things are super, super important. Super important. Take hold on her, and she shall exalt thee, that shall be glorified by her when thou art embraced, when thou shalt embrace her. She shall give to thy head increase of grace, and protect thee with a noble crown. And I don't think it's talking about, earthly crowns. I might be wrong, but I don't think it's talking about that kind of stuff. It seems to me it's talking about wisdom. It's talking about knowledge. The crown of the noble crown. And I might be wrong. I might have to come back and someone will come along and look this up and use other translations and find out, hey, no, the noble crown maybe is something. But that's how I see it, because this stuff is always mental. Hear, O my son, and receive my words, that years of life may be multiplied to thee. I will show thee the way of wisdom. I will lead thee by the path of equity. Now, equity is a word I really get annoyed by it, because you hear it used everywhere, nowadays. Inclusion and equity and things of that nature, We'll have to look that up too. Which, when thou shalt have entered, thy steps shall not be straightened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not meet a stumbling block. Take hold on instructions, leave it not, keep it, because it is thy life. Let's see here. Be not delighted in the path of the wicked, nor let the way of let the way of evil men please thee. Flee from it, pass not by it, go aside and forsake it. For they sleep not, except they have done evil, and their sleep is taken away unless they have made some to fall. There is no rest for the wicked. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of iniquity. But the path of the just as a shining light goeth forward and increaseth even to perfect day. I read that right, but it sounds wrong. Even to perfect day. The way of the wicked is darksome. They know not where they fall. My son, hearken to my words, and incline thy ear to my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thy heart. For they are life to thee that find them, and health to all flesh. With all watchfulness keep thy heart, because life issueth out of it. Remove from thee a forward mouth, and let's see, what's forward mouth mean? It says here, a forward mouth is a lying mouth. Let's see, of a lying mouth, Psalms 52, 4 through 5. Okay, I was just curious. Remove from thee a lying mouth, a forward mouth, and let detracting lips be far from thee. So, lawyers, this verse isn't for you, right? Let thy eyes look straight on, and let thy eyelids go before thy steps. Make straight the path for thy feet, and all thy ways shall be established. Decline not to the right hand, nor to the left. Turn away thy feet from evil, for the Ishi knoweth the ways that are on the right hand, but those who have preserved which are on the left hand. Wait, that doesn't sound right. But the Ishi knoweth the ways that are on the right hand, but those who have preserved which are on the left hand. But he will make thy courses straight. He will bring forward thy ways in peace. My son, attend to my words, and incline thy ears to my prudence. Verse 26, that is weird. I mean,